What's going on, everybody? This your man Black Reality TV. Back at y'all again with another video. So we're gonna talk a little bit of hoops. And according to reports that big man, multiple time All-Star of the Cleveland Cavaliers will be heading to the Brooklyn Nets. This is according to reports. Nothing is confirmed yet. You know what I'm saying? The Cleveland Cavaliers made it known that they're not trying to just give up DeAndre Jordan for nothing. They're trying to get, something back in return. Hear reports about the Lakers, him possibly going there, or a couple other contending teams. But if this happens, and they just got off a signing a couple days ago out of a buyout with the Detroit Pistons, Blake Griffin. And Kevin Durant, we know, has been out for a couple weeks. But you look at that team, and you're sitting there saying to yourself, from a talent perspective, and I know a lot of people are going to be whining and crying and talking about, man, this is not right. You can hear a lot of these little crybabies, especially, you know what I'm saying, in the media. Especially a lot of these ex-NBA players that are, bitter that they didn't win a championship. Man, this ain't right. This ain't fair. Man, they stacking the deck and this and that and whatever, man. All right. But the man that you see right here in this image, LeBron James, and people were giving LeBron James a hard time, just a decade ago when he made his decision to leave his hometown team, the Cleveland Cavaliers, and team up with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade in South Beach. But let's look back before he did that, right? And you look at the journey that LeBron James went on during the time of the league. You look at the time that LeBron James in the league, when he entered the league in the early 2000s, to you start seeing the time period on the early to mid teens, and now the league has totally changed. You got to remember, and people keep bringing this up, man. LeBron James has been in the league. This is his 18th season. 17-18 season in the league, and he's playing at this high level at 36 years old. We all been talking about it. It seems like the last 3-4 years you keep on hearing the talk, especially when whatever team that LeBron James is on, if they're not peaking or they're not playing well during the regular season, you start hearing questions. Especially the last, like I said, 3-4 years, that you keep hearing the talk, well, has LeBron James lost a step? Is he not the same player? This and that. And the Los Angeles Lakers got their issues right now. They've been moved past. They haven't been playing good basketball lately due to some injuries, and they've fallen down the charts as far as seeding wise. They're not in the top two. I believe they're fourth in the Western Conference. And you look at the landscape, like I said, the landscape of NBA has totally changed since he's entered the league and now. And LeBron James seen how the league was going before a lot of us have seen it, right? And like I said, you go back prior to he made his decision to leave Cleveland the first time. You look at the landscape of the NBA, you had a lot of older veteran teams like your Detroit Pistons, that he had to get over. He had to get past them. You know what I'm saying? They had multiple All-Stars. Now, we're not sure if a couple of them guys are going to be Hall of Famers. Ben Wallace, shout out to Ben Wallace, excellent player for the Detroit Pistons, has been one of the nominees to be in the Hall of Fame, and I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. But getting back to the topic at hand, look at that Detroit Pistons. You had at least four All-Stars. A couple of them are at least Hall of Famers. Chauncey Billups and I believe Ben Wallace. You can probably make some of a case for Richard Hamilton, uh, possibly Rasheed Wallace as well, but at least a couple of them are Hall of Famers. And like I said, he had to get past them. He got past them. You know what I'm saying? He went to the finals in his, fourth year in the league. And they run across the San Antonio Spurs, another team that's a veteran team. They drafted guys, you know what I'm saying, homegrown talent. But they had 3 Hall of Famers on that team, a Hall of Fame coach in Greg Popovich. And he took one of probably the weakest teams that's been in the finals over the last 15 to 20 years to the NBA Finals. That team that went in 2007 was not a juggernaut by any stretch of the imagination. Now they lose, they got swept. He lost it to the San Antonio Spurs. Got swept. After that, like I said, then the Boston Big Three arrived. Okay, when they traded for Kevin Garnett, MVP, multiple-time All-Star, Hall of Famer, Ray Allen, one of the greatest shooters of all time. You had Paul Pierce, Hall of Famer. You got 3 Hall of Famers, and Rajon Rondo at the time, who I think has, to me, solidified himself as being a Hall of Fame player. So you had 4 guys that was potential that are going to be potential Hall of Famers on that team. And couldn't get past them. Couldn't get past the Orlando Magic one time. They went to the NBA Finals one time, but Boston was their nemesis and couldn't get past. So he decided he's been in the league 7 years, hasn't won a championship. He goes to Miami. He's the villain. He's the you know what I'm saying, the person that everybody's vilifying. How you leave your hometown team. You know what I'm saying? To join a super team. You're supposed to be the greatest player in the world, this and that. You know what I'm saying? You're the chosen one. You're the king. You know, and the criticism was, you know what I'm saying, at that time you can say, all right, man, I understand the criticism. But LeBron James, I'm telling you, he was looking at the bigger picture and how the league was going, man. The league is getting younger and younger. You got the teams that are willing to trade. The NBA teams now are more aggressive in getting players. You got to understand, during the time that Jordan era, that free agency and trades, you saw trades happen, but you didn't see guys in their peak, in their prime, getting, you know what I'm saying, buyouts, and they could just join on a minimum like that. I mean, most of the times you might get, you know what I'm saying, just serviceable role players. You're getting all-star caliber players in the position that they can just say, you know what, we try to get a trade, this and that, we couldn't, so we're going to buy out your contract. And now you're getting guys like, for example, that I think they can move the needle, because like I said, if Andre Drummond joins the Brooklyn Nets, man, it's pretty much a wrap. I don't see no team in the NBA to be, whether they're healthy or they're not healthy, beating this team. I don't see it. And this team they're second in the Eastern Conference, and they haven't even had Kevin Durant in the fold during the time when they made their push due to the injury. And like I said, you will have potentially, if Andre Drummond joins the Brooklyn Nets, you will have 6 guys on the Brooklyn Nets roster that have been in the All-Star game. 5 of them have been in the All-Star game multiple times. You got Kevin Durant, that's been an MVP of this league, alongside James Harden. You got Kevin Durant that's won 2 NBA titles, 2 Finals MVPs, 2 scoring champions. You got another guy, Kyrie Irving, who's a multi-time All-Star, who's won an NBA championship. I mean, you look at the credentials of those guys. If they formulate this team, I mean, it's crazy to think about it. Andre Drummond will be their fourth best player on this team. This guy who's averaging this season 17 points and almost 14 boards a game. He's going to be their fourth best player. I know Andre Drummond gets a lot of slack because people say, well, he don't make a huge difference. Their team don't win and this and that. I think if Andre Drummond was in a situation, or I feel like this, put like this, in an era where the game is more predicated on the big man, like it is, because now it's more three-point oriented. So his value as a player isn't a hot commodity as let's say it was 20 years ago. Let's say 2005. If this was 2004, 2005, Andre Drummond will be, you know what I'm saying, a face of a franchise type of player. But that's more based on the perimeter guys now. I'm not saying big men can't, because you got guys like Joel Embiid and Joker, you know what I'm saying, from the Denver Nuggets. But for the most part, most of your franchise type players are from the perimeter. But like I said, you got 6 guys that have been in the All-Star game and all the credentials that the Brooklyn Nets will have. And if LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers, if they somehow beat this team, and shout out to Town Biz, he did an excellent live stream earlier, and if he can beat that team, he might can make the case of being the GOAT. He might can make that case. I know people saying, "Oh, you crazy." All right, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of people want to say Michael Jordan and this and that, but let's get into that, right? Michael Jordan, right? And people want to sit there and say he went 6 for 6 in the finals, and LeBron James, he's lost in the finals multiple times, and it's okay, all right. But don't forget this, and this is facts that I'm spilling right now. Michael Jordan has never played in the NBA Finals where he's went up against a team that was a defending NBA champions. He's never. His team, his whatever team he's been on with the Bulls when he won all his championships. He played for the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? Wizards, they ain't gonna win nothing, seems like, in my lifetime. But anyway, he went 6 for 6 in this and that. But he never went against a team that has won the NBA championship, and he had to play against that team. LeBron James has done that and has beaten that team, and beaten a team that won the most games in NBA history in the regular season in the Golden State Warriors, surpassing the Bulls' 72-win team. He beat that team and coming back from a 3-1 series lead, which no team in NBA history has come back from a 3-1 series lead in the NBA Finals. So there's 2 things that LeBron James has done in the NBA Finals that Michael Jordan has done. And if he beats a team in the Brooklyn Nets with, like I said, all the stuff that I just mentioned earlier, and the Los Angeles Lakers, if they can somehow just get out of the West, because it ain't no foregone conclusion, they're going to come out the West. Utah going to have something to say about it. The Clippers, you know what I'm saying, they might turn around that bad playoff luck and push through and come out the West. You know what I'm saying? You got Denver trying to make a push after having a slow start. So the Phoenix Suns are one of the surprise teams in the league, being second in the West. So if he gets past the Western Conference, which is the toughest conference in the league historically over the last 20 years, the West has been the most dominant conference. He beats this team, Brooklyn Nets team, if they get Andre Drummond, you gotta say he's GOAT. You gotta put him in that conversation. I'm not saying you gotta say he's the GOAT, because everybody's gonna have their own opinion at the end of the day, but he's gonna have to be at least in the conversation of it. I know a lot of people say he's not in that conversation because he's lost in the finals, this and that, but there's plenty of guys that have lost in the NBA Finals. But look at the deck that's been stacked against him. Some of the teams that he's been on. And a lot of people want to criticize that he's joined teams that had that when he went back to Cleveland with Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving. But look at you do that. Like I said, he beat a team that was a defending NBA champions in the Warriors. And then winning the most games. Then they added Kevin Durant to that team with the Golden State Warriors. Add that. And had to face against them twice, and losing to them, which, you know what I'm saying, wasn't a surprise. But what I'm saying is, the people, I just want people to look on the bright side. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people who go get angry and pissed off talking about this is not fair. But if you love LeBron James, because the media wants to push him so hard, you know what I'm saying, to being the greatest basketball player of all time. This is the opportunity right here. You shouldn't be angry. You should embrace this opportunity. You know what I'm saying? That this can be the defining moment in LeBron James' career as he closes. And by the way, once I finish wrapping this video, I'm about to wrap this video up. He's 36 years old. Like I said. And his team just came off of winning the championship in a shortened season. In a shortened off season, and you pull off this and beat this juggernaut of the Brooklyn Nets. I'm just saying, man. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. It's your man Black Reality TV. I'll holler at y'all later next time. Deuces.